She's a winner.
And welcome to the Intuitive Entrepreneur Show, where you take enlightened entrepreneurs, coaches, and influencers together to discuss cutting-edge topics in the world of relationships, culture, business, and spirituality. And here's your host, Miss Carol Boston.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Crack Your Code, Reframe Your Life. Now, those of you that follow me know we're changing the name of the show. We're going to be changing up what we're doing, going to be bringing you a lot of value with technology in the marketplace that helps you understand somebody else's buying values in 90 seconds or less. Oh, I'm out of breath today. You know, one of the things I just thought of that I've never asked my audience, does that avatar, is that what you call it, the avatar created in the intro, look like me? Put it in the comments if it does. Come on, you know, I'm your weather girl. It is gorgeous, as you can see. Here in sunny South Florida, there's a breeze. It's probably in the low 80s, which is a little warm for this time of year, but it's beautiful. And put it in the chat where you're chiming in from and what the weather's like where you are. Now, these last few weeks, we've had some of the same people come and join us and engage in great conversation, but they join us at 20 minutes after the hour, right? We're 2/3 of the way into the show. I even asked Malcolm last week, what one thing would have to happen for you to join me at 3 o'clock so I could enjoy your company the whole time and have a full dialogue? He said, well, I guess I got to quit taking phone calls. Well, put me in your calendar, dude. I'm excited to be here today. We will not be here next week. I have a big event next week. We will not be here. And I just found out right before this show that I'm going to be losing my technical guru who runs the intros, runs the outros, runs the StreamYards, makes sure everything works, goes to the right place. Guess what? I get to learn to do it myself. Oh, no. Oh, me and technology. This is going to be fun. Oh, my goodness. What's on your mind today? Tell me. Tell me what's on your mind today. As always, we're going to be speaking from our Ayanna Van Zandt book. And if you are joining me and you didn't take a chance to look at the title of today is Responsibility. The description was, be responsible for telling people the truth, not for managing their reactions to it. My goodness, when we dig into the meat of this, you're not going to believe it. I wrote that down actually on a new binder that I got on Sunday for keeping all my notes of all my coaching clients. And I wrote it down, and underneath that I put, do not be attached to the outcome, and you would be amazed at what showed up. And I can look at how the Carol of today, the wiser, more emotionally intelligent from doing all the work, bank educated Carol responded versus how Carol maybe 10 years ago, 8 to 10 years ago would have responded. It would have been different. We're going to talk about that. So we all get to grow. Everybody grows at their own pace. And we get to look at all of the different intelligences. It's one of the cool things about the bank iOS coaching program that I'm in right now. I'm going through it. I've been through it 1.5 times, and I'm going through it again. And I'll probably go through it again and again. Cool thing is once you pay, you don't have to pay again. New people show up. You get different interactions. You get to learn different things. And repetition is the mother of all learning, right? The mother of all learning. So speaking of all learning, y'all know I'm the queen of reframe, and I teach and train on empowering questions, how to get the answers that you really want. And a couple of weeks ago, I attended a 2-day, was it 2 days? I don't know, maybe it was 3 days, free training from the woman that I actually learned my foundation on empowering questions from 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years ago, May. I've been working to master these questions for 10 years. Now, in listening to her, we don't teach exactly the same thing, and we have a little bit of a different philosophy about some things. But she's a certified NLP master, amongst many other things, has worked with shamans and gurus and whatever. But here's an empowering question that she left us with that I wrote down. And I've been actually started this week getting my clients to use it. I've been doing it. And empowering questions have embedded presuppositions, too much to train on today. It's one of the things that makes them powerful. And here's the question. If you've got a pen and a paper, you want to write this question down. Are you ready? How can I be even more aware? Now think about that. It presupposes what? That you're already aware, which is an awesome thing. And we could have just said more aware, but we said, how can I be even more aware to take it up to the next level? How can I be even more aware of the infinite opportunities surrounding me right now? Think about it. And she said, what if you asked yourself that question every hour on the hour for 30 days? Do you think you'd have different opportunities in your life? Oh my goodness. Now I'll be candid. I haven't done it every hour on the hour. My Mondays, for example, are a bit crazy. I coached 11 clients. I'm on a call every hour on the hour. So my goal was 4 to 6 times a day to start. But it's already causing me to look around and see things differently. How can I be even more aware of the infinite opportunities surrounding me right now? It is specific. It is time bound. It moves forward. It's positive, and it has embedded presuppositions, all parts of an empowering question. Have you crafted your own empowering questions? Well, on today's episode of the podcast, Crack Your Code, Reframe Your Life, we're going to be talking about that. And we're going to be talking about what Iyanla Vanzant is teaching us for today's show. Now, I'm just going to jump right into this. Be responsible for telling people the truth, not managing their reactions to it. And then underneath I wrote, do not be attached to the outcome. That's super, super important. So I did this on a Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening, and I went over, listen how things show up, folks. Things that give us opportunities to learn and grow. Oh, sorry, got distracted. I went over to do a dog sitting job. Now, the week before, when the football playoff games were going on, I got a text from this person, actually a couple of days before, and she said, are you available on February 2nd to dog sit for the evening? And I replied back, no. And she said, okay, are you available on March 16th? And I said, yes. I thought everything was fine. So during the football games on that Sunday afternoon, I get a text from the boyfriend of the couple telling me that he's really upset that he thought he had made it clear that he wanted me to dog sit every Sunday night when they were going to the theater for their season tickets, their passes for the season tickets. And he said, look, scroll up in the text thread. So I did. There's nothing. So I replied back and I said, there must be some miscommunication. If I had put all those dates in my calendar, I would have asked you for a 50% deposit, non-refundable, for every one of those nights to block off that time. And he came back and he said, well, I remember you writing them in a book the night we came home from the share show. Now think about it, folks. I grew up in a household, oh my God, if you weren't right, you were shamed, where you had to be right. And I thought, I'm not getting into a tit for tat with this guy trying to prove who's right and who's wrong. I'd rather be happy. So he said, let's get on a phone call and get off the text. And I said, no, I'm entertaining people for the football game. I'll reach out to Karen tomorrow. We'll talk about the deposit. Long story short, fast forward 1 week, I show up there. I see Ray. He gives me this big hug. He's all lovey-dovey, happy. I had on a Nova Southeastern t-shirt. He said, are you on the board of Nova? And I said, no. And he said, would you like to be? And I said, I'd love to be, right? He's going to introduce me to people. He's all happy talking about, we're still going to go into business together. And he leaves the room to go change clothes. And I'm talking to the girlfriend, Karen. Nice lady. And I said, 2 things. The deposits are non-refundable because I can't book anybody else for that time. Now, they had canceled on me earlier in January. And I said, but having said that, I like having a long-term relationship with you guys, and I'm happy to forward 50% of that for you. And she looked a little shocked. But she said, okay. And I said, you've been telling me since September that you have 2 weeks in May that you want me to dog sit for you when you go to your niece's wedding. There's Jeff Atkins. It is 27 degrees in Detroit weather, girl. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. Jeff, we're talking about being responsible for telling people the truth and not managing their reactions to it. And the phrase that I put together with that is don't be attached to the outcome, right? Because you don't always get the outcome that you think you want or that you're looking for. So I tell her that I just got a request for an 8-day booking in May, and we get to discuss what their dates were so we can get a deposit and hold that time for them. She says, okay, the wedding's on the 25th. Okay, great. Listen, they leave, they go off to go to the theater, and they're only gone a few minutes, and I get a text from her. And she says, are you available on February 16th as well? So I looked at my calendar. I replied back, yes, I am. And I'll mark it off on my calendar right now. She said, great. And thank you for the partial credit. Great. They come home from the theater that night. Ray doesn't even look me in the eye. He doesn't speak to me. He goes off to the bedroom to change clothes. He comes back and he stands behind the girlfriend with his back to me. She and I are chatting about the show. They went to see the Neil Diamond show. And then out of the blue, she says, I think we're going to find somebody else to do our dog sitting going forward. And I said, okay, but I'm curious. You know me, I'm always curious, right? We get to ask empowering questions. I said, what one thing caused this change? Is it that I didn't move forward the entire non-refundable deposit? She said, no. I said, well, I'm curious. What one thing caused it? And she says, it's complicated. Do you think I let it go? I said, how so? She goes, we're just kind of hit or miss. And I just looked at her and I smiled and I said, okay. Now listen, folks, before I walked in there to have that conversation with her that I knew they weren't going to like, I sat in my car and I said, God, let my words be your words and let me not be attached to the outcome. Show me what I get to see. Show me what I get to learn. And this is a man who has been trying to get me to go into business with him. He never even said goodbye to me, never turned around, didn't look at me one time, hid behind the girlfriend. And I walked out and it's like this feeling washed over me of, God just showed me I don't want to be in business with this man. He talks a good game. Think about it. 8 or 10 years ago, I would have been saying why, even though now I know, right, that an empowering question doesn't start with why. And I would have thought it was all about me. Did I do something wrong? Oh my gosh, maybe I should let their whole deposit go forward. No, I get to stand my power, right? Own my power, know my value, and advocate for myself, which is exactly what I did, which is exactly what I get my clients to do. Know your value, own your power, and advocate for yourself. My time is valuable. When you book time with me and then you cancel the week before, I had already turned down two gigs for that week. I'm running a business. It's not a hobby. I mean, it's one of my streams of income. It's a side business. Man, if I could tell you what's going on right here, right now about not being attached to the outcome, whew, challenging. Challenging. Jeff, where'd you go? Where's Malcolm? It's not quite 3:20 yet. Not quite 3:20 for Malcolm. Often when pretty much every time, Jeff said, so crazy. It was unbelievable, Jeff. And if I could tell you what's going on here right now, the landlord of the place where I live, who's been in bed all day, comes downstairs right now at 3:00. He knows this is the only time I ask him to be quiet for my podcast. He just went in, turned on the TV really loud. I can hear every word of it. He hadn't been down here all day. He turned on the oven for the pizza. He's got the coffee maker going, anything to make noise. Right? This is my last show in this house. I'm very excited about that. I got a lot of craziness going on. How can anybody be so unaware? I ask myself that, even when I look at the bank codes, right? And I look at his code. How can anybody be so unaware? And is it worth it to say anything? You can't hear any of it. That's good, because I hear it all and it's very distracting. Let me grab my glasses. Oh, they're right here around my neck. Thank goodness, right? Whew. Jeff, have you been reading out of Ayanla? I know you have a copy. So let's jump into Ayanla today. And sometimes we actually call things in to our life because we've been thinking about it. And I will tell you that just a couple of hours ago, I was thinking this exact thing was going to happen. And I was walking down the stairs and I said, no. Don't call that in. And the very thing that I didn't want to happen is happening. I get to react differently than I would have a few years ago. Ayala February's month is I will know love when I realize ... And what would you do in this situation, Jeff? What would you do? Would you stand up and say something right now? Or just not say anything at all? Because it's the last time you're going to do this show here. I would love to get your feedback. I will know love when I realize the only way I can challenge fear is to do the very thing I'm afraid to do in the moment that I feel afraid. Here's a recipe for living and loving that will yield satisfaction and success. 1 mind full of positive vision. 1 moment of openness. 1 second of willingness. 2 drops of readiness. Jeff says, I have not. I will tell you that the RV is working properly and I will be all set for leave in March. I'm out of here next week. And 1 dash of love. Mix the above ingredients with trust and faith. Roll the mixture into a ball of clear intention. Knead the ball into a thin layer of belief. Smooth out any lumps and cover all holes with prayer. I need some prayer right now. Gently place the layer of expected intent in a dish of great expectation. Preheat your mind with warm, loving thoughts about yourself. Allow the layer of belief to rise in words of praise and thanksgiving. Patiently wait for the intention and expectation to be divinely fulfilled. Until today, you may have experienced many failed or fallen dreams. Just for today, try a new recipe for loving yourself into a new vision for yourself and for your life. Be devoted to focusing your energy and love on just one thing. Today, I'm devoted to using all the right ingredients for a life full of love. I'm going to share with you that this has been a very unusual and frustrating show for me because there's a part of me that just wants to stand up and yell at this man because it feels very passive aggressive, right? Stay in bed all day upstairs, never come downstairs until now. Oh, Jeff says, I have been there. Gabby's daughter tended to only want to eat if I was live or recording something. Yeah, and it's every Wednesday at 3:00 for the last 6 months. It isn't worth it. It isn't. Already started moving my stuff out this past weekend. I am so excited about where I'm going. We'll talk about that more when I get there. You'll be able to see it's a brand new environment, much, much better environment. Mentally, physically, and emotionally, and being able to be productive and produce business. I don't know if Malcolm's going to show up. It's 3:18 and I got through this show pretty quick. What does that tell you? This environment stresses me. So I get to take a deep breath. I get to focus on you guys. Jeff says, woohoo, I can't wait. It's interesting. Since I sold my house and I've lived a lot of different places, being a wandering digital nomad with my business, my good friend, Dr. Roz, mentioned to me a couple of weeks ago, she goes, that every time you move, you make a move up. Every time you move, you make a move up. Not only that, you get a lot of learning lessons. Boy, do I get a lot of learning lessons. Oh my goodness. Right. But I know what areas of town I do want to live in and what areas I don't. And I didn't know that about East Lauderdale before because I lived very southwest out in Cooper City. For 26 years, I owned a home out there. And who knows, maybe I'll decide I don't want another home here. Maybe I'm actually going to do what I've talked about for years and go live where we have a true change of seasons. Speaking of seasons, did y'all see where they got 8 feet of snow in China? Oh my goodness. Thank God that he provided the space. Absolutely. Absolutely. In a very, what's the word I'm looking for? The area that I'm in right now, Wilton Manors, is in very close proximity to all the things that I do with the Women's Executive Club, at the Coral Ridge Yacht Club. I'm not even 5 minutes from Trader Joe's, the other grocery stores, Office Depot, where I get to go tomorrow and pick up my training manuals that are being printed out to do my level 1 certification for bank. I don't know if I told you that, Jeff, but I'm getting certified in bank. And I'm going to have my own license to teach and train. And I'm excited about that. Jeff, you and I are going to be talking about a couple of things together. You don't know it yet, but we are. It is much nicer than the last one. Exactly. In many, many ways. And then in other ways, man, like when I walked up those stairs yesterday and that dog had crapped all over the floor 3 times. Don't have that going forward, let me tell you. Guess what I'm going to have going forward? A private pool, gorgeous backyard, an outdoor grill. It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to it. Rock on. Exactly. Rock on. Yeah. I'm trying to think of who else joined us last week with Malcolm. It was the same person that joined us the week before, and they both came in at 3:20. I wish Aruba could tell me. I can't remember who it was. We had good conversation, so I'm very grateful that you're here, Jeff. You know, I want to always have a dialogue and not a monologue. And looking forward to going to the board meeting tonight. I just got a text earlier, and the past president said, are we going to talk about our bank codes tonight? I've been trying to get them to crack their bank codes. And what's fascinating in what I'm learning, Jeff, is that the current president had me on the phone about a week and a half ago talking about what the past president was doing. Now, nobody else had cracked their code, only the past president. So I'm telling the new president, I said, well, you get to understand that our past president has high blueprint. That's why she's so upset that the bylaws aren't being followed. Blueprints are rule followers. They stay inside the box. They want things to be low risk, right? Now, what's interesting is when the new president cracked her code, there are 4 of us that have the exact same code. And it is mind-blowing to see the different types of responses to the very same thing from 4 people with the same code. And she says, how is that? And I said, because we all have 4 codes in us to varying levels, to different degrees. And that's another 20-point questionnaire to see how close your dominant and your second code are. But it's playing out true. She said, oh my God, this report on me, Carol, is spot on. And it really is. Have I done a 5x5 on what I truly want in a living situation? Would you be willing to remind me what a 5x5 is? My first thought is, did I put it on a 3x5 card? Oh my goodness. Let me know what a 5x5 is, Jeff. That way anybody who watching the replay on #replay can learn from that as well. I just decided I'm going to frame this whole afternoon situation as evidence, right? We all have a reticular activation system in our brain called the RAS, and its job is to go out and find evidence for what we believe, right? That's how people look at you and go, see, I told you so. I told you everything bad happens to me, or I told you this, right? Because it's what they already believe deep down, and that part of their brain goes out and finds proof to give them evidence. What in the world would compel that to happen? Because then the ego rises up and says, see, I told you I was right. Right? I always get stood up. Or they might say, I'm always the one that gets the short end of the stick. I'm always the one left out. You're right. Because you keep claiming it. Anything after the words I am is an invocation. Jeff says 5 physical characteristics, 5 emotional, 5 financial, 5 spiritual, and 5 wild card. I wish I could copy and paste. Can I copy that? Will StreamYard let me copy that? Oh, well, awesome blossom. I just copied that. And I will do that. I appreciate that. Right. One of the cool things about the new place I'm going is it's owned by a gay married couple. They're both retired. And as of next Wednesday, they're leaving the country. So I have the whole place to myself. They're going to be back for 4 nights in September. Then they're leaving the country again. They'll be gone for at least a year. And like I said, gorgeous yard, private pool. I don't have to pay to clean the pool. I don't have to pay to do the yard. I just got to keep the house clean. And we know I'm good at that. Anybody that knows me, right? I'm going to have a quiet place to do my work. No pets. I know you love your dogs, Jeff. And I love animals too. That's one of the reasons I pet sit. But this has been a very challenging situation. So thank you for sharing that. And if you're watching this on #replay, make sure you go look in the comments and see what Jeff just put in there. He asked me if I had done a 5x5 on what I truly wanted in a living situation. 5 physical characteristics, 5 emotional, 5 financial, 5 spiritual, and 5 wild card. Jeff, give me an example of a wild card. Sounds like a great place for me. It's nice. They just put in a new washing machine, new granite countertops. I moved some of my stuff there last weekend, but they were repairing the floors underneath the wardrobe in the bedroom. They had some water damage come in, so they had all that cleaned up and shored up and fixed. Nice guys. We want to know when you're coming over, Carol. We want to make sure it's spick and span clean. I thought, how nice. We hit it off right from the very beginning. Peter and David. Yep. It's a step up. I'm already looking at a new business plan now that I'm going to be certified in bank. Looking at changes for my LinkedIn. A wild card is something that might fit somewhere else, but you didn't have room. I know, but could you give me an example? My brain is not wrapping around that very well right now. Put it in the comments for me, Jeff. We got about 3 more minutes. I'd love to get an example. Something that might not. Emotional, physical. Is a wild card that I get to have a gas grill outside. I love grilling on the grill. Oh my God. Steaks, shrimp, lobster, salmon, pork tenderloin, chicken. Here I come. I mean, I eat healthy anyway, but man, being able to grill outdoors, that's going to be a great game changer. That's one thing I've missed from selling my house is being able to grill. Jeff said that could be. Okay, good. That gives me an idea of what to be looking for. I will do that work over the weekend and I'll send it to you so you can, I don't know, so you can just maybe help give me some insight, something like that. So Jeff, tell me again, can I scroll up here in the comments? Please do. Okay, I will. I'll do it this weekend. I copied it so I can go paste it into a Word document. And you're getting ready to, I will be all set leaving in March. The RV's working properly. Awesome. Do you know where you're headed first? We haven't talked in so long. What's going on with your opportunity in New Orleans? Big Super Bowl going on down there this weekend. It's going to be crazy in the French Quarter. Oh my God, they're going to have so many police. It's crazy. I will send you a document. Oh, please do. I also am going to scroll up in the Facebook Messenger and get that guy's name that you left me many months ago for a CRM. To start putting some campaigns and things together. So thank you for bearing with me today, folks. I feel like it's been so scattered. I hope it's been of some value to you, that you walked away with something from Ayanla, or walked away from something that we talked about not being attached to the outcome and not trying to manage other people's reactions when we tell them the truth. Speaking at Movement Maker at the Gaylord, in Tennessee. How nice. That'll be beautiful weather up there in March, April. Good for you. We've hit that time, folks. It is 3:30. It is time for me to run. This has been Carol Boston with Crack Your Code, Reframe Your Life. If you're ready for a reframe and you don't have the life that you want and you're looking for a good coach to get you there, private message me. Let's have a conversation and see if we're a good fit. Blessings. Go in peace. Make sure you get somebody to smile every day and take good care of you.
Thank you for listening to the Intuitive Entrepreneur Show, brought to you by Life Coaching Today magazine, and empowering your health, your business, your community, your life. Check out the latest issue today at lifecoachtoday.com. Everyone here at the True Awesome Network asks you to please subscribe, like, comment, and spread awesome.